Welcome to a short video presentation explaining disability retirement benefits available to SBCERS members. As a member of the Santa Barbara County Employees Retirement System, you may become eligible to receive disability retirement benefits if a medical condition causes you to be permanently unable to return to work. Here, we will discuss the application requirements, the legal standards for eligibility, and the application process. There are two types of disability retirement benefits. You may be eligible for a non-service connected disability benefit if you are unable to work due to an injury or illness that is not related to your employment. You must have 5 or more years of service credit to apply for this benefit. The monthly benefit is generally 1/3 of your final average salary, but varies depending on your age and length of service. The second disability benefit is a service-connected disability retirement. You may be eligible for this benefit if you become unable to work due to an injury or illness that is caused by your employment. You may apply for this benefit after completing any length of service. The monthly benefit is the greater of either half of your final average salary or the amount of a service retirement if you are eligible to receive one. To be granted either disability retirement benefit, you must prove by a preponderance of substantial evidence the following elements. Incapacity. This means a substantial inability to perform the usual job duties of your job class, even with reasonable accommodations provided by your employer. Permanency. An incapacity is permanent if further reasonable medical treatment or the passage of time is unlikely to restore your ability to work. Service connection. If you are applying for a service-connected disability retirement benefit, you must also prove that your incapacity arose out of and in the course of your employment, and that such employment contributed substantially to your incapacity. If you are a safety member who has worked for at least 5 years, you may be eligible for a presumption that certain medical conditions, for example, a heart condition or cancer, were caused by your job. To apply for a disability retirement benefit, you must complete and file with the retirement office a 4-part application form. The application includes multiple authorization forms for the release of medical and employment records, a questionnaire requiring sworn answers in writing regarding your medical condition and why you believe you are unable to perform your usual duties, and a 1-page form to be completed by your treating physician in support of your application. If you are claiming more than one medical condition, you need only complete one application, but you must complete information for each condition. Once the retirement office receives your completed application, we will request copies of your medical and employment files and compile those documents that are relevant to your claim. The retirement office may also require that you provide additional information to support your application. Many applicants also pursue applications for workers' compensation benefits. These two benefits, as well as their process for approval, are very different, and approval or denial of workers' compensation benefits is not considered in processing your application for disability retirement benefits. Next, we will compile a job analysis for your job class. This will describe the usual duties of your job class, how those job duties are performed, the physical demands required, and reasonable accommodations available. Reasonable accommodations provided by your employer may include placement in an alternative assignment within your job class, ergonomic equipment, and possible delegation of duties you cannot perform to coworkers. You and your employer will be given an opportunity to review the job analysis and provide input. After all records have been received and the job analysis is complete, you will be examined by one or more independent medical examiners specializing in the area of medicine related to your claimed condition. Prior to the examination, the doctors will be provided with your medical and employment records. The doctors will be asked to provide an opinion on the issues of incapacity, permanency, and service connection. Following the examination and review of your records, the doctors will provide a written report for the Board of Retirement's consideration in determining whether to grant your application. You or your treating physician, or your attorney if you are represented by counsel, may receive a copy of these reports. The medical examiners are not directed to reach any particular conclusion and are asked to exercise neutral and independent judgment in evaluating your medical condition. After the application and medical evaluation process is complete, the Board of Retirement will consider a staff recommendation for action on your application. The board will consider the reports of the independent medical examiners, your treatment history, and the applicable legal standards in determining your eligibility for a disability retirement benefit. The board may grant or deny your application, refer it to an evidentiary hearing, refer back to staff for further investigation, or dismiss it without prejudice, meaning that you can file another application in the future if circumstances change. You may attend the meeting and address the board regarding your application, or retain an attorney to address the board on your behalf. If your application is granted and once the board's action becomes final, you will meet with a member services specialist to begin the process of retiring and starting your disability retirement benefit. Your member services specialist will discuss your retirement options, health insurance, and monthly disability amount. If your application is denied, you may request that your application be scheduled for an evidentiary hearing. The board may also refer an application directly to a hearing. The matter will be referred to a hearing officer, known as a referee, who will conduct a proceeding to consider all the evidence in your case, including written records and live testimony, apply the disability retirement law, and submit a recommendation to the Board of Retirement for resolution of your application. During the hearing, you may be called to testify regarding your condition. Doctors may also be called to testify about their medical opinions. The board will be represented by legal counsel. You may also retain counsel to represent you at the hearing. The board will then consider the referee's recommendation. If the referee recommends that your application be granted and the board adopts that recommendation, you will then begin the process of retiring and receiving a monthly benefit. If the referee recommends that your application be denied and the board adopts that recommendation, the board's decision to deny your application will become final unless you seek judicial review by a judge of the Superior Court of Santa Barbara County. If you do not wish to seek judicial review from a denial, your options include a return to work, retiring for service if you are eligible, deferring retirement, or electing a refund of your retirement contributions. The initial application process is generally 5 to 8 months before the board's initial action. If a matter is referred to an evidentiary hearing, resolution will typically take an additional 6 months. If your application is granted, the effective date of your benefits will often be the date you filed your application, although the effective date may be earlier or later depending on your circumstances. You are encouraged to apply as soon as you are reasonably certain that your medical condition permanently prevents you from performing your usual duties, and to timely submit all of the required information to our office. You can file an application while you are still working or on medical leave, within 4 months of terminating your employment, or later if you show that you have been continuously incapacitated to perform your usual duties from the time your employment terminated until the time the application was filed. The information in this video is only a short summary of our process. Every application is different, and it is important that you contact us if you have any questions regarding our process, or if you believe that you may be entitled to a disability retirement.